All right, welcome back to another episode of Coffee Time with Tyler. Today we have with me my good friend TJ Barnett. He is the former marketing manager at Fuji Inc. We'll get into a little bit more about Fuji in a minute, but just a quick intro. I met this kid my freshman year of college. We lived on the same floor together. We did the same things. We were in the business living and learning program, so we've had some classes together. And then we kind of went a few very different ways. Junior year, I guess that was. So TJ, let's just get into it.
Cool.
What exactly is Fuji?
Okay, so Fuji is an experiential marketing tech company that works with various brands to deliver experiences at scale via social media. And to kind of break that down, we basically give away free stuff on behalf of a brand as a marketing strategy, right? So, I mean, a lot of companies go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for social ads. Instead of kind of giving that phone to consumer experience, we're delivering a real-time live experience that the fan can hold in their hands on behalf of that brand.
So why don't you give us like an example of something you may have done recently?
Sure. We actually just worked with Disney Star Wars, and we delivered lightsabers, like limited edition lightsabers. Actually, so yeah, we delivered like 2,000 or 3,000 lightsabers, 1,000 pop action figure dolls with Rey, and it was a really cool experience because you know how crazy Star Wars fans can be, so
really.
They love that.
So basically, in order for them to get the lightsaber, they would tweet at Star Wars using various hashtags and things like that.
So the basic process is it's a hashtag with an emoji trigger. So all the fan has to do is just tweet that hashtag, and I think it was the moon emoji for Star Wars. I might be wrong on that, but just all they do is tweet that, and then they'll go to the microsite because they'll get a link to the microsite. Go to the microsite, fill in the information, and then within 60 minutes to 2 hours, they'll get delivery right to the door.
Very cool. And obviously, it's limited numbers, so
right.
How do you choose what kind of hashtag will receive that? For
that particular campaign, it was a sweepstakes. So anyone who tweeted had a chance to get it.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that you're going to get it. But we've ran campaigns where it's first come first serve. It's a giveaway or sweepstake type style, or like doesn't need a number per hour. So
right.
10 to 20 an hour, and then we'll give it away.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So now we know a little bit about what Fuji is. We can get more into what TJ Barnett does at Fuji. All right, so now we have a little background on what Fuji does. We're going to get more into this entrepreneur right here and how he really got into Fuji, so how he worked up from an intern to the marketing manager position, and just kind of what's in store for TJ next.
Totally. The whole process was pretty crazy. It was my junior year, first semester of junior year. And then, my friends, two of them that had dropped out and worked for Fuji full time, and they were telling me and pitching me on the idea, right? And then I sat down with the CEO at Blaze, actually, and he told me if you want a full time job, you got it. So, walking in there in October, I was an intern, just wanting to figure out if I liked Fuji and how I thought about the company, and then I quickly worked my way up to kind of managing their social channels. Which was awesome. And then in January, I had that meeting with Greg at Blaze, and then he said, if you want a full-time job, you got it. So I was like, all right, well, I got a full-time job.
I'll never forget that call you gave me when we were supposed to be studying for an econ test or something. Yes. You're like, hey, dude, can't really study for the test. I dropped out of college. That was an interesting call.
Yeah,
but go on.
I chose take the plunge and I dropped out of school. It was a risk, but that's part of what the startup community is all about, is taking risks, and I just felt like it was a calculated risk, right? I'm going to work for a startup, I'm learning a lot about the industry that I'm interested in, and then I'll be able to kind of work my way after that. And so I worked at that position for about 6 months or 7 months, and then in January of this year, I got a promotion to become marketing manager. And that included, managing or helping manage all of our social channels, connecting with sales to find the best way to generate leads, run social ads.
Well, not to mention at that point, too, you guys had hired a bunch more people on staff, too, correct?
Yeah. Over last year, I think we hired 30 total employees.
That's crazy.
It's funny. But, and then, so yeah, I was, running social ads. I wrote our blog, so blog.fuji.com if you want to check it out. And then, so it was a really cool time, and I cannot tell you how much I've learned over the past year and a half compared to, being in school. Not saying that school is a bad thing, but being out there in the real world and kind of having your own house and paying your own bills on your own job is kind of fun. So I'm really glad that I had that experience.
Paying bills is fun?
No way. But definitely teaches you a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, most definitely. So I guess we can kind of get into where we are today.
Absolutely. So speaking on Fuji, there's a reason that it's called a startup, and there's a lot of risks that associate that with a startup. And unfortunately, they just laid off like 24 people, 25 people this past Friday, actually. And when Tyler messaged me, I was working there, and then I messaged him today. I was like, "Hey man, I actually don't have a job anymore." So they cut some jobs, but that's just how a startup goes. And I'm not mad. I don't have any ill feelings toward the company at all.
That's good.
I'm actually rooting for them. But that's how that life is, right? When you sign up to work for a startup, you're taking that chance on this could either go way up or just shoot way down, right? And for me, it just kind of went down. And but like I said earlier, the experience and the things that I've learned over the past year and a half will follow me, forever.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Leading on to that, right now I actually am lucky and I'm blessed because I actually got a job with a realtor here in Lexington.
Oh, awesome. That's exactly where my next question was going. So what's the future looking like for TJ?
Absolutely. So I actually just got a job with a realtor. I'm basically running all of his marketing socially.
Wow.
So, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, running ads for him. But I'm also going to become a showing agent for him. And then I'm basically going to do whatever he wants me to do, right? I mean, I'm learning underneath somebody who has been in the industry for like 6 years now.
Right.
I'm really interested in real estate, so I'm really excited to learn about that.
Maybe a question that we basically have to ask in this class is, what would you tell your 22-year-old self if you knew what was going to happen throughout your life? If you knew that today, what advice would you have to your 22-year-old self? So considering I think I'm older than you, let's do more advice to people that want to go into startups or just take the dive off the deep end and go right into something that they want to do. What advice would you have for that?
Well, first, I would say don't ever go anything with a closed mind, right? Always have an open mind to anything because you don't know where that opportunity can take you. I mean, it can take you across the country to LA. It can take you across the world to Australia. I mean, you have no idea. So make sure you're open-minded and willing to do anything that you're pursuing. And then secondly, make sure that you're not only open-minded, but you're dedicated to making yourself better every single day. As long as you're putting an effort into something that's benefiting you, you really can't go wrong, right? It's the law of averages with the positive slope. I mean, if we can constantly make ourselves better in some aspect, whether it's you want to read a book today, or you want to go and read an article about real estate, or you want to go work out. I mean, either way, whatever you're doing, as long as you're benefiting yourself in some positive way, it'll reciprocate later on in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those are two things.
Well, TJ, I thank you a lot for this great
fire.
coffee. Cheers. Yes. Woo. Yes. And hey, maybe we'll have you on the show again next time. We'll see what happens. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.